1 month had passed since Ethel became a member of Kelvin's party. Their level was higher now because they always ran quests without stopping every day. Ethel experienced many drastic improvements. She used a sewing technique and repeatedly reset her maid outfit to gain status. Ethel also had original skills due to Kelvin's holy magic back then. The original skill's attack power is very high, and only certain people have it. But Kelvin doesn't have original skills. Garrett is also a strong fighter on the front lines, while Kelvin can be safe to cast magic from his green wizard class. Kelvin also took forging techniques, and he is still learning them to make weapons, armor, and also a shield. During the month they were leveling, the party's cohesion could be formed, and they could also understand each other. After that, Kelvin and Ethel went to the Adventurers Guild. Angie gave a reward for the quest they had just completed. They could immediately go up the adventurer rank if they ran one more quest. Kelvin's adventurer level is at B rank, while Ethel is C rank now. Angie was proud of Ethel because she developed quickly during 1 month. Kelvin and Angie were also reminded of the time when Ethel's C rank exam was over. Other people must have had difficulty clearing the exam to move up to C rank, but Ethel could defeat the senior named Ward easily. Senior Ward was not a weak person, but Kelvin and Ethel were too strong. Then Angie took Ethel to the new cake shop in town the next day. Angie wanted Ethel to put her mind at ease so she wouldn't be fighting the monsters daily. Ethel accepted Angie's invitation and also asked Kelvin to come with them. In Ethel's heart, she wanted Kelvin to go together because she liked Kelvin. Then Kelvin agreed to come with them to the cake shop tomorrow. The next day, Kelvin was waiting in the city park and still thinking about Melfina. She suddenly wanted to go to the altar this morning because someone had called her. Kelvin was curious about what Melfina was doing. Then Angie arrived, and confused, "Where is Ethel? Why isn't she by your side?" Kelvin said that Ethel was getting dressed at the lodge. Then Angie asked Kelvin not to use formal language because it was outside Angie's job. Angie doesn't want to continue using a formal language with Kelvin because she has become his friend. Then Ethel came with wonderful makeup. Even Kelvin was dumbfounded when he saw the beauty that Ethel showed. Kelvin also complimented her outfit and made Ethel shy. After they arrived at the cake shop and ordered a cake, Ethel wanted a date with Kelvin. Of course, Angie didn't want to lose, she did it too. The cake shop visitors who saw them were very jealous because they thought Kelvin had 2 girlfriends and they were beautiful. Kelvin was confused about what he should do, and luckily this morning, Melfina went to work as a goddess. But suddenly, there was a prince from Trison country who made trouble with Kelvin there. This prince was named Tabura. Tabura didn't want ordinary people to have fun like Kelvin earlier, so Tabura wanted to give Kelvin punishment. But if Kelvin doesn't want to be punished, he has to provide Ethel and Angie, then Tabura will free Kelvin. So because Kelvin didn't want his friends to be taken away by Tabura's bodyguards, he would fight them. Kelvin asked, "What is your purpose in coming here?" Tabura was getting increasingly pressed, and finally, he said his true purpose. Earlier, he had met Rio and said there was a great adventurer in this city. So Tabura was here to make the adventurer his vassal and help him achieve a higher noble career. Kelvin refused Tabura's invitation because he didn't want to be fooled like that. In the kingdom of God Doremus, Goddess Melfina came to meet a girl named Colette. Then Dewey Melfina asked about the condition of the heroes. The demon lord would rise soon, and they should be able to fight it. Colette told the details of the status of the heroes. They are Shika Setsuna, Kanzaki Tuya, Mizuoka Nana, and Koramiya Miyabi. In Melfina's heart, she was very disappointed after seeing their status. Then Melfina told Colette to investigate the evil aura in the western states and not to approach the city of Potsy. After that, Melfina left the god's altar, and Colette informed the heroes of Melfina's orders. At night, Ethel and Kelvin were still talking in bed. Ethel thanked Kelvin because he had helped her at the cake shop this morning. Ethel asked, "Am I not pretty in your eyes?" Ethel was a slave, and Kelvin, as the master, had to be able to do anything to Ethel. Ethel also said that she loved Kelvin very much because he was the first person to give warmth and beauty to this world. Kelvin held back his lust while replying that Ethel could do that sometime. Ethel is now more beautiful than before. Until now, Kelvin didn't want Ethel to push himself. After hearing those words, Ethel's love deepened for Kelvin. Wait. The next day, Melfina returned to Kelvin's communications. Melfina also gave Kelvin the status information of the heroes. After seeing their status, Kelvin was confused because the heroes' development was very slow, even though the summoning ritual had been carried out a year ago. Without the double experience, their level should be in the hundreds. But strangely, the level of heroes is still over 50. What did they do for a year, said Kelvin. Garrett also said that the status heroes didn't look strong. Melfina was also disappointed with the heroes, they couldn't make good use of the time. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord will soon rise, and the Demon Lord's awakening will occur continuously. When the Demon Lord dies, a new Demon Lord will emerge. The Demon Lord system is the same as Kelvin or the heroes, summoned or reincarnated from the dead in another world. The Demon Lord was level over 100, and the heroes wouldn't be able to fight him with their low levels. This is also why Melfina wanted to follow Kelvin from the start of the contract, because she knew that Kelvin would be able to quickly adapt to the new world. Within a month, Kelvin had already reached level 40 and over, and Ethel was already over 30. Even with the help of double experience, this level was still too fast for a new adventurer in this world. If there is a double EXP, it should be level 40 and 30 more. It takes at least 3 or 4 months. As long as Melfina is with Kelvin, she also discovers that Kelvin is a battle junkie. This factor also made Kelvin and his party grow drastically. Kelvin said that he was confused about the original skill status of the heroes and Ethel. How come they got this original skill? Melfina replied that the original skill was only owned by a few people because it was a rare and special skill. Kelvin envied the heroes and Ethel because he wanted to have original skills. Melfina also promised, "If you can level up to summon me, I will give you a great original skill." Kelvin got even more excited after hearing Melfina's words. Kelvin has also upgraded his wand to A rank and given Garrett the A rank shield he's made. Now Garrett can attack while defending, he is a semi-tanker. Ethel used her sewing technique to reset Kelvin's clothes to B rank to provide additional status and MP regeneration. Then Ethel also made a B rank coat that contained tanker-specific elemental resistance for Garrett. Kelvin's clothes and Garrett's coat have special effects of their own. Then Mrs. Clea told Kelvin that Rio had called him and had to go to the Adventurers Guild. After arriving at the Adventurers Guild, Rio said that there was a demon found in the dungeon by an adventurer and is now still sealed in the room. The adventurers have also added a magic field in the dungeon area. This aims to maintain security if someone has evil intentions to break the demon's seal in the dungeon room. Rio didn't know what level the demon was. He ordered Kelvin to check the situation and the possibility this time's quest had an S rank. Melfina said that the lowest demon had a B rank and a high level. So it's only natural that the Adventurer Guild categorizes this quest as S rank. Kelvin agreed to the quest and immediately went to the dungeon. After arriving at the dungeon, Kelvin met with Senior Ord. He said that the magic field in the dungeon was being renewed. So even if this demon is sealed, there is still the possibility of him going berserk. Then Kelvin began to enter the dungeon and down the halls there. Kelvin's party was confused. Why doesn't this dungeon have any monsters? Finally, they arrived at the room where the demon was sealed. Kelvin told his friends that this demon he could possibly make a subordinate or follower. If he could have the followers of a demon, Kelvin would be fortunate. When they entered the room, they saw a talking monster named Victor. He's a top-level demon that is archdemon, and he's been waiting for humans to come back to this room. He killed the monsters in the hallway so humans could quickly enter. Victor will immediately eat them to increase his strength. Suddenly the door to the room closed, and the situation turned tense. Melfina said that previously there were 3 demon lords. The girl may be the daughter of the demon lord named Gustav because her hair color is exactly the same as him. But according to the records of the gods, that demon lord Gustav had no children. To be sure, Kelvin asked Victor, "Isn't demon lord Gustav childless? Then who is that girl?" Victor replies that the girl is the daughter of the Demon Lord Gustav named Sarah. Victor is one of the generals under Demon Lord Gustav. Gustav had been deliberately hiding his daughter's identity all along, so that no one knows that Gustav has a child. But now Victor wants to become the new Demon Lord, so he will eat this girl to gain extraordinary powers. After hearing Victor's explanations, Kelvin was excited to fight with Victor. Kelvin easily smiled in front of a powerful opponent. Melfina and Garrett understood it, because when Kelvin fought Garrett, he had absolutely no fear. Kelvin smiled throughout his fight with Garrett. Kelvin was also fighting like crazy. Ethel, who heard this, was really shocked and just found out that Kelvin is a battle junkie. Then Kelvin and Victor's party battle began.
気持ちが高ぶって仕方ない。お前ほどの強敵に会ったことがなかったからな。